Tulmore, Shishin Magachi. Tulmore is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming, and death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Burntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I uncover the blasphemous truth of a plague-ridden world, that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The Heresies of Radolf Burntwine, coming January 2nd, wherever podcasts are available.
Hello, world, and welcome back to Thanks for Coming In. I'm your host, Jillian Clare. How you doing? I watched The Queen's Gambit, and I binged it so quickly because it's so good. If you haven't seen that yet, you should definitely watch it because, oh my god, it's amazing. I love it. It made chess enjoyable. Not that it isn't normally, but I don't know. A show about chess doesn't seem too exciting until you start watching it and you're like, oh my god, this is so exciting. I also watched Jingle Jangle, which is a new Netflix movie, and it's incredible. It's an original musical. You should watch it. It's super inspiring and hopeful and kind of exactly what we all need right now. So you should definitely watch that too. I'm currently reading a book called The Secret History, which is by the Goldfinch author Donna Tartt. I love it. It's super old, actually. Well, old as in it came out the year that I was born. Ha! I just called myself old. It's a great book, though. I'm really enjoying it. My best friend Sarah reads so many books, and I just kind of stalk her Goodreads so I can find good things to read because she only reads good things. So yeah, that's what I'm reading. What are you reading? You should let me know. Let me know if I should watch anything, read anything. It's kind of all I'm doing right now. I'm trying to write a little bit, but that's about it. This week on the show, we have Makenzie Moss. She is my youngest guest ever, and it was wonderful to have her on the show. You may know her from the hit TV show The Unicorn that is on CBS every Thursday night at 9:30. It was very fun to talk to her and kind of a flashback to my childhood years on set as well. So here's my conversation with Makenzie Moss. Welcome to the show, Makenzie.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Thank you. You are officially my youngest guest ever.
Oh, yay, I broke the record here.
You did. You did. You are so young and you're on a hit series, which is amazing. What got you into acting? Is it something that you popped out of the womb and you were like, I gotta do this?
That's funny. Well, my parents were both slightly they're in the industry. My dad, he is a director and a writer, so they never really thought of putting me in it. But then I just love the camera, and he did a little home videos, and I was like, all of it. I found the cameras everywhere, and then my older sister actually wanted to act, so she was like, I wanna do commercials and I wanna audition. So I just followed her lead, and we both kind of audition, and then the first audition I went into, I booked. So it
Nice.
just kind of happened from there, and it just happened,
It's exciting. I was a child actor as well, and I remember being on set and absolutely loving it as a kid. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah, I had so much. I started when I was maybe 4 years old. I started in my dad's movie when I was 3. I was in the ending credit video. They had a and then I loved it, and then they're oh yeah, we'll audition her or whatever. I'll audition, and I had so much fun on my first commercial was Moss for Tots commercial, and I didn't really have any lines. I mean, I was just kind of improvising they're like stuff that I like. I was improving, you know, but I had so much fun. I was like doing cartwheels everywhere. It was like being like in a candy store. I swear, it was like my favorite thing ever.
That's so cute. I remember I did a Pound Puppies commercial. I don't even know if Pound Puppies exist anymore, but I remember doing a Pound Puppies commercial when I was very young as well, and it was just the best. I want to talk to you because I've never had somebody on the show this young. I want to talk to you about doing school on set because I remember it being such an interesting experience, and I want to know kind of how that is for you growing up.
Oh my gosh, yes. So I was never homeschooled actually until I booked the show because I was usually I did movies. So I stopped doing commercials maybe when I was like 8. I was so over it, like the long hours. But, you know, so we dropped commercials and then I just auditioned for movies and TV shows, but I only booked movies. So I never had to be homeschooled. My school worked with me that I went to, you know, and I just went for a couple
Yeah.
months and came back. But when I booked this series, I had to be homeschooled because every school I applied to wouldn't take me because I wouldn't be there at school and they wouldn't work with me. So
Mhm.
that's when I resorted to homeschool. And then I've always had a set teacher on set, you know, but this time it's so
Yeah.
different because he is my teacher. It's not just like a temporary thing and then I come back and I have a normal school experience, you know. So this time it's different. But at least I have a couple kids around me. It's not because I've
Right.
never really worked with kids, which is funny. I've worked with dogs or adults.
Dogs are adults. I love it.
So I've done a few dog movies, but adults and I've always got along with adults, and that's how, I mean, so I got along with them, and then now that I'm working with kids, it's much more of like a kid-friendly experience, you know? So I do school, and I kind of have like, I mean, we have like a classroom, and we do school. We're not in the same grade, me and Ruby. And then there's Devin also. He is also doing homeschool. We're all doing homeschool, but we're on different things, you know? So it's not like we could work on stuff together. But it's just
Right.
so different because when we're on set, it's like when we have a 20-minute break, like, oh, let's go get a block in, then let's go run a set, then let's go back and forth. So it's definitely different because I have like two jobs. I have school, and then I have like a job. Like
A real job.
a real job that a 14-year-old usually is not doing. So it's definitely different for me than anyone else.
That's interesting that you had been able to be in school while shooting all these movies. You mentioned that you were in some dog films, Pup Star, which is so cute. But it's interesting to me that you were able to stick in regular school for that long because I remember, I think I was like, well, actually, it must have been around your age when I finally had to switch to homeschool. Now that you are doing homeschool, are you going to try to get through school faster, or are you just gonna keep on course?
Ooh, well, I think the advantage of doing homeschool is you can get ahead and you could finish early. So then if maybe I would do a movie, hopefully over the summer, I wouldn't have to do, or over like March or anything, I wouldn't have to do school.
Right.
Which is fun for me. But I mean, I'd love to. Usually I'm a few weeks ahead right now. I'm trying to get ahead. I'm not like gonna graduate at 16 or anything, not crazy, but hopefully I could finish a few months ahead or a few months ahead of everyone.
Heck yeah.
It was nice.
So tell me about the movies that you did for Netflix, the Pup Star movies, because dogs are the best things on this planet, and it had to have been so much fun working with them.
Oh my gosh, that was the best thing ever for me at my age too. I think it started when I was like 7 or 8. Maybe I was like 8 or not. I think I was 9 actually. I was like 9 to like 11 or not like 7 to like 9 or 10 or something. It was so fun working on that. I had, you know, there were adults and stuff, but the dogs were the best part because I also got to help like train the dogs too. Like I did.
Oh my gosh.
Treat, you know, I learned so much stuff, and I have 3 dogs of my own, and 2 of them were bought because of the movie. Because I was like, I want a dog like Tiny in the movie. I want to get the one exactly like her. And then we did another one, and then we bought another one. It was
oh no.
So that movie basically made me dog obsessed.
Got you. So your parents are like, you can never work with dogs again because we can't have any more dogs.
Exactly. Yeah. So if I do a dog movie, it leads to a dog of my own, basically.
That's so much fun, though. I love dogs. They're my favorite things on this planet. So I can't imagine working with dogs that much. It must be just fantastic.
Oh my gosh. It was the best experience ever.
It was also, though, a little bit distracting. Like, did you just want to sit there and cuddle the dogs? Because I think I'd just be in the corner cuddling them.
Oh my god, yes. It was like, Makenzie, we need you for school. You can't be sitting with the dogs all the time, like petting them. It was so fun. Also, like in between shots, the dogs are like, because I mean they're trained, but they're also dogs, so they're not gonna sit there for hours. I have to go on their walks and their potty breaks, and all that stuff. But it's like they're always sniffing, or sometimes they run across like the set. And it's so fun. It's like having. They're like a dog of my own, because every time I went, because we did 4 movies, so every time I went back, the dogs recognized my smell, so they were so excited to me. So it's like having my little dogs of my own. So it was like I was their
be like Christmas morning every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so many dogs. Oh my gosh.
So tell me about this show that you're on, The Unicorn, because it's so good, and I feel like it's one of the most grounded sitcoms that I've ever seen, really. It's so heartwarming, and I feel like it's really real, and you're fantastic in it. So tell me about how you got it, what it's like to work with Walton Goggins, and how it is to be on set with so many adults all the time.
Oh, I love it. Well, first, the show is about Walton Goggins. He is Wade. I'm one of his 2 daughters. He is widowed, and his friends are getting him back into the dating world, and now dating with all the dating apps, and especially at that age with his children also, and a life of his own. So it's about that with the right amount of comedy and heartwarming stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's so fun. I have the best cast. I mean, I could never ask for anyone better. It's so fun. I love teaching, especially Rob and Michaela, slang, like teenage slang.
Yeah.
So I work on the teenage vocabulary.
Oh God, what kind of slang is that?
Well, I teach them, the TikTok trends. I teach them the TikTok dances. So we do a few TikTok dances together. Posted a couple TikToks. It's me and Michaela I love teaching her dances. We record them. We have so much fun. So it's fun.
That sounds so fun. I did a show with Rob when I was about your age too, and I can remember him being so funny. It was a very short-lived show called The Winner. We got canceled after 6 episodes or something ridiculous like that. But he was fantastic, and I remember him being so great with the children on the set.
Oh, he's great. He's so great to work with. He's hilarious. He's so quick to think of funny ad libs at the end of the scene, and he gets everyone laughing. He's so funny.
I have to ask what it's like because now that you're in a second season, you've kind of built this family at work. What's it like to grow up in that setting? Because it is such a family setting when you're around these people so much.
Yeah, I think we've gotten so close over the past year that we've known each other. Ever since we were, the first day on set, it already felt like my set home, Everyone is so great. And me and Ruby are so close. We're like set sisters. And especially this year, since I'm growing up so quickly at this age, 13, 15, so on. So it's great growing with everyone, and they're such great humans. It's great to learn from them, at my age, since I'm still growing and stuff. So
how did you get this role? Because there must have been a long audition process. How involved was it?
Oh yeah, okay. So it was funny because I was one of the last couple runs of auditions, because they audition a group of girls, then if they don't like any of them, blah blah, we do another group. So I was one of the last groups that they auditioned, and I was actually sleeping over at my friend's house, and my mom was like, oh, she had to pick me up early. I had to learn my lines in an hour. I had to get ready and run to my audition. There's 2 scenes apparently. I only rehearsed 1. So I walked in, they're like, oh, could you do the other scene? I'm like, what other scene? And then,
no.
Okay, well, I'm not coming back in for that, since I forgot the other scene. Well, they like me, but I forgot one of the scenes, so that's kind of a crucial part of the audition. But then I got called back in, 4 auditions later. I did the testing, a chemistry read with Ruby, and I booked it. So
wow.
It was a pretty fast process because I auditioned a week before they were shooting.
Oh my gosh, that's so fast.
A week or 2 weeks maybe before. So it was very quick, and I was like, if I don't hear anything in the past 3 days, it's done. So
you're like, well, gotta go.
Yeah, exactly. I have to go.
That's incredibly quick. Though, I mean, it must have made it a little easier too, just to know that it was so quick and you're not going to have this long drawn out process of wanting to cry.
Exactly. Yes, totally. It's great because I'm not just like hearing in like 5 months later. That happens sometimes. It's you 5 months later you get a call back,
Yeah.
just out of the blue. Like what? It felt like a year ago since I auditioned for that. But I heard back in like 2 days, which is great. So very quick.
They must have instantly knew. I've heard that many times when somebody walks into the room and you are the character, they just instantly know.
Yeah, it happened when I met Ruby. I was like, oh, that's her. Like, there's no one else that could be my sister on the show. It's her.
Wow. Tell me so you have a new movie coming out next year called Let Us In with Makenzie Ziegler.
Yeah.
How was that? Is that kind of a horror-based movie? It kind of sounds thriller-ish.
Yes, it is a sci-fi, and I actually got to work. It was my dad's movie, actually, so I got to work with my dad. And
Fun.
I helped produce a little bit, which was so fun.
Nice.
So I got to really see. It was such a good learning experience for me. Because I got to see the behind the scenes and the casting, and I could really see what goes on behind it. Because I just see it from, the outside, and I just audition, and then I don't hear back, but I get to see what happens in between. And I was there for some of the auditions or some of the callbacks or whatever. So it was so fun doing that, and also being on set. That was the first time I actually shot with kids my age.
Oh.
Dogs or adults. So that was my first thing before the unicorn, or I think it was in between the pilot and the first season. So it was really fun shooting with the girls. Kenzie, Sienna, Seneca, all of those girls are so great to work with. I had such a good time with them on set. It was so nice, so fun.
Aw. You worked with it with your dad, which is so fun. I work with my mom a lot. How has that changed your relationship, or has it helped you guys become closer? How was it working with him?
Yeah, I think I've worked with him a couple times when I was like little, and then now this is when I was like, I was in almost every scene, so we it was professional, obviously, and I like dad at home, director on set, but it was fun because I know what, this type of acting he likes and that stuff, so, and like I personally know him, so it was easy for me to like gauge like my performance, and it's good to know what he wants and stuff like that. So
that's exciting. Do you think that you guys will work together again?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what other movies he has planned. I literally don't know anything about his project. I just know like maybe a month before he shoots them. So I don't know. I mean, if I'm hopefully still working on the show for a couple more years, I think I'll just be focused on this. So.
Yeah. So you talked about working behind the camera too. Is that somewhere that you'd like to explore more as you get older? Is working behind the camera and maybe even directing yourself one day?
Yes, I think that would be so fun. I would love to be a director or a producer, maybe a writer. That would seem so fun. I've always been so interested in it, and ever since I was little, I've always like sat on the little camera operator chair, and I've like seen, the camera and the camera angles, and it's always just been so fun to, be a part of the process of it.
Yeah.
Instead of just executing, the writing and stuff. So I think it would be so fun to direct.
Yeah. You should.
For other people, I don't know. But I've always been a type of director girl, so I've always thought from a director's like point of view sometimes.
Right.
Because it's when you're auditioning, it's good to think of everyone's point of view instead of just yourself. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll be fun.
That would be super exciting. We need more women filmmakers, so you should definitely do it.
Yes.
So on this show, I like to have actors tell me stories of funny auditions or bad auditions or something that they almost got that they didn't. Do you have a story that you'd like to share with everyone?
Yes. Okay. I have, I don't think it was that funny. It was definitely a memorable audition.
Okay.
So I auditioned, I was in Steve Jobs, so when it got down to the final, like, there's maybe 5 auditions, and it was, like, the 4th one, I think I was, like, 9 or 10, and I had the flu. I had, like, 102 fever.
Oh, gosh.
So I felt like I was green, like, I was so sick, and they're like, oh, we want a director-writer session, you to come in, like, tomorrow, and I was sick. So when on the ride there, I was like sprawled out on the back of the car, laying down with a bucket, like a.
Oh gosh.
And then I walked in. They made me do it like 5 times. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna throw up all over you. They made me do this one more time. And then I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get it. Obviously, I was like sick. I sounded sick. I looked sick. I was literally looked like I was gonna throw up. I was just focused on not throwing up instead of my lines. I was like, oh, I totally blew it. And then, the next week we heard that I got it. So
amazing.
Good luck. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, just get really, really sick before an audition that you really want.
For sure. Yeah, that'll definitely get the part. Yeah.
Oh God, it's good that you didn't hurl on all of them.
Oh my gosh, that would have been a nightmare. That would have been horror. That would have made it even worse.
Honestly, it probably would have been hysterical.
Even more memorable, that's for sure.
I love that. But you ended up booking it, which is great.
Yes. Thankfully.
How was working on that movie? Because that was a really great little movie.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun. It was definitely a different process. We had, I think, 2 months or 3 months of rehearsal before we shot. So it was just a room of me and the actors. And it was so fun. I haven't done that before, and I was so young.
Yeah.
A big movie like that. So it was really fun. Doing that, I learned so many acting lessons from that set. It was so fun. I had fun. It was shot in San Francisco, so I had fun exploring San Francisco, looking all of the Golden Gate Bridge, looking all of that stuff. It was so fun. It was like a trip and working all in one. It didn't really feel like working to me though, because I was so young. It was just felt like playtime, so fun.
Right. It's interesting that they made you do rehearsals like that. It's kind of like rehearsing a play.
Yes, it definitely was a play. And then there were a couple shots where it was just one long take, so they really needed to rehearse that, but they just wanted to make sure everything was perfect. Especially the director is he knew what he wanted, with that type of stuff. So it was definitely quite the experience. Wow.
Well, I am very excited to see what you do next, where your career goes. I think you have a great career ahead of you, and I think it's going to be an awesome, awesome, awesome thing to watch. Where can people follow you on social media?
Ooh, follow me at Makenzie Moss, Makenzie Moss on Instagram, and Twitter. I think it's Makenzie_Moss, or it's Makenzie Moss something. I don't really know. Instagram is usually where I post most. Follow me there. I'll post some stuff. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Everybody should watch The Unicorn Thursdays at 9:30 on CBS, and hopefully we'll have you back when you're a little bit older and have more stories.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks again to Makenzie for coming on the show. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to it now. Go ahead and give us some stars. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell somebody else. And tune in next week. I think I know who's going to be on, but I'm not going to say it on here just in case it's not the person who's going to be on. So, we'll see you then. And as always, thanks for coming in.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.